So hi, thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you. So congratulations on your new role.
Yeah, it's been very exciting and just as I mentioned, a pleasure to be here. Appreciate the strong partnership and support of our schools. I know I had an opportunity, perhaps not to meet with everyone, but a number of familiar faces around the table, and just really appreciate your commitment to supporting the needs of our students and their families.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
So how are things going? How can the city help?
Yeah, well, I'll just say I'm pleased to share we're off to a really great start. I've been able to now visit all of our schools, elementary, middle, and high school, and a very common theme is what I hear from staff, students, and our principals is this is perhaps the strongest, most positive start in years. I think a lot of that speaks to just the level of normalcy that we've had moving forward, and just really appreciate the parent support, the level of engagement. I know I've just completed my listening sessions and on my entry plan to all of our communities, and appreciate those community members that took the time to come out. I know people have very busy schedules, but to share what's right and areas of growth. I think we, just like most localities, recognize that mental health is a great area of need for the extended community, and certainly we see it in our schools. I believe through the blueprint, the state is targeting a number of grant funds that will support partnerships with a number of our nonprofits that will help provide some of those necessary wraparound supports both before and after school. I know our school board just voted to support, I believe it's a Salem Avenue, pretty significant grant for those wraparound services. So just really appreciate that level of support. And I had an opportunity to engage today with the State Board of Education, and they're actually coming out at the end of October to engage our Washington County Board of Education in a conversation regarding the blueprint. One of the things that I believe there are opportunities in all 5 pillars of the blueprint. We're waiting for the details. The devil's in the details, if I may, but I do believe we're positioned very well with our preschool initiative, as well as our resources and supports that the blueprint will provide for those after-school wraparound supports that are really necessary to support the needs of, in many cases, our underrepresented families, families that are struggling to make it day to day, and providing strong, safe environments where we're addressing health as well as academic needs both during the day and after the day, or at the end of the day, are really critical. So your support in building those partnerships. In my short time period, I've been impressed with the business community. I'm actually speaking tomorrow. The Chambers invited me to speak in the morning. I know the Greater Hagerstown Committee, I've been with them twice. Just the level of support for our schools, in particular our apprenticeship programs. We have actually, in terms of numbers, we're the #1 apprenticeship program in the state. So we're looking to grow in meaningful ways so that, in particular, our high school students are engaged with a skill set that makes them employable here locally, and certainly have a choice in terms of the career pathway or the college pathway. So really looking to develop and enhance additional partnerships. I know we've had conversations a few weeks ago about being proactive and working with law enforcement to focus on more proactive relational types of supports that allow us to work with students before a challenging situation arises. So really appreciate those level of partnerships, and I felt nothing but support from the mayor and city officials.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're excited.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'll just put in a plug. I know I've visited South High School, and the complete leadership team there, they've done a lot of outreach during the summer months, going out to meeting with families and developing strong, proactive, supportive relationships. So I want to extend my appreciation to not only the leadership team, but all the teachers there. And actually, at the end of this week, I've got a football game that I'm planning to go to at South. So anyway, it's great to be here. Appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Thanks. All right, up next we have a proclamation for Washington Goes Purple. And with us today, we have Vicki Sterling, the Director of Behavioral Health, but we also have the two leaders of the Washington Goes Purple Youth Group, Madison and Malia. So if you guys could join me up here, please. Hi, ladies. Welcome. Thanks for coming. So first I have a proclamation for September for Washington Goes Purple Month. So whereas our nation is suffering one of the most devastating epidemics in modern history, and the state of Maryland and Washington County are not immune to this epidemic, and a local movement to bring education and awareness to this overwhelming epidemic in our community has resulted in a coalition of professionals and volunteers to reach out to our students and community to provide awareness about the dangers of prescription pill misuse, other drugs, and stigma. And whereas this movement has gained the support of local government, medical professionals, business leaders, teachers, law enforcement agencies, paramedics, and all other first responders who know that this epidemic is negatively impacting our communities and our future, our children. And whereas there are very few who have not felt the pain of losing a loved one or close friend to this epidemic that has ravaged our great nation. And grandparents, parents, mentors, and youth in our community need to focus on spreading the awareness of the dangers of opioid misuse and other drugs, and it is our moral responsibility of each and every one of us to help eradicate this disease and continue the good fight until we have turned the tide of this epidemic that is eating away at the very fabric of our nation and our future. Washington Goes Purple is answering that call, laser focused on spreading the information to begin that process of saving our future. Now, therefore, I, Emily Keller, Mayor of the City of Hagerstown, do hereby proclaim the month of September as Washington Goes Purple Month and encourage all citizens to light up the night with purple, the color of recovery, and spread the information of the dangers of opioids and other drugs, and to assist in beating back the purge against our community. This is for you guys. And so recently we have started a youth group, and it was the idea of these two who came to us and said, we want to be more involved with our youth. And so we appreciate you, and I'd love for you guys to share.
So last year after the Washington Goes Purple Walk, I went to Vicki and Emily and decided to start a youth group because this community needs it, especially the kids in this community. The kids in this community think that drugs is not real life, and they are real life, and some of these kids get traumatized from drugs from their parents doing it also. And we wanted to create a safe place where kids can come tell their story to us, where they can come to us and just let all their anger and crying, even their happiest moments out to us and feel safe.
Wow.
Thank you guys.
There you go. You're on, Eric, you're on.
You guys come over here, we'll go. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, up next we have an event sponsorship request for the Black Economic Empowerment Summit. So we have Brittany Arizmendi, I always say it wrong, sorry, our Community Engagement Officer. Brittany?
Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Hi, ladies, welcome.
They're standing in for Colleen. So we are here today for the Black Economic Empowerment Summit. So last year they held the event at the Maryland Theater. And this year they're planning to do it at the same location, but just more space.
Correct.
So I will let you ladies introduce yourselves and then just share with Mayor and Council a little bit about the application.
My name is Deanna Hardy.
And I'm Christina Frazier.
We're here today just to let you know about the event is scheduled for March. Part of what we're asking the city, in cooperation with the city, is the deposit. I think our due date is coming up soon, is September 26th. Part of the funds will go to renting out the building and also go to the technicians that will have to be there throughout the day. Last year, we had the ballroom, and I think we had about 250. We sold it out. The expectation this year is the entire theater with foot traffic of about 1,000 people, and also we have more vendors this year that will be participating. So that's our what we plan to do this year for the Economic Summit.
Do you have other sponsors? This is, I think that the event last year was a huge success and, you know, incredibly supportive, but my concern is that it's 150% more than what we gave last year. So I just want to know if there are other contributors, other sponsors for the event, or is the city the main and only sponsor?
I'm not 100% sure. I know that there was a letter of sponsorship. I'm just not sure of who's responded to
Okay.
that.
And I have in the application that Colleen submitted to the city, so it has a question list other sponsors. So it has Edward Jones confirmed as a sponsor, but it does not have a monetary value associated with that. And then Kelgard is pending, but again, there's no value. And as you can see here on the back, I gave you guys an updated where we are with the event sponsorship as a whole, the budget that I oversee. So I propose that we give 2,500. Ultimately, it's your decision. If we do decide to do the 4,900 sponsorship, on the front here, I listed, there are still 4 events that we've done in previous years that we've helped sponsor, that we would be in a $15,000 deficit under my budget line. So I just wanted to give you guys a broad overview of this is where we are, and leave it at that. So the 4 outstanding sponsorship forms that have not been submitted yet for this year for the bike race that usually happens, BISFA Art Walk, which was a new event last year, the Collegium Santorum Angelorum, which was a new event last year, and then the Dolman Black Heritage Juneteenth celebration.
I'm saying it's going from 250 to 1,000. That would create way more people downtown, kind of the Life Jennings concert had 700, and our restaurants and stuff afterwards and before were jumping. I think that's
Oh, I agree. I just think that, you know, 150% increase is significant if we're the only you know what I mean? If like the CVB or, you know, if other sponsors the county were included, I think that I'd love to see you I think the event is fantastic. It's just that when we have to cut other things with 150% ask, it makes me a little uncomfortable. So that's if 2,500, which is more than last year, it's not the full ask, that's where I am.
And so 2,500 was the max that we had decided on new events, right?
Yes, but because, so this last year was not under an event sponsorship because
Okay.
it was just kind of a one-off, but it is an event, so it should be under this. So we're not looking at this as a first-year sponsorship.
Gotcha.
I'm good with the whole amount.
I am too. I'm good with the whole amount.
There you go. I don't know, so you don't know.
Good?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Good with the full amount?
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a great season.
We waiting on Kristen.
All right, up next, Safe Streets and Roads for All Grant Application. Thank you. Hi, Jim.
Hello, good afternoon. So as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law that was passed in 2021, they allocated quite a bit of money to various programs, and a lot of this money is going to the Department of Transportation. And the Department of Transportation has decided that they would like to allocate funds to address safety on highways, roadways, both pedestrian safety, vehicular safety, whatnot. So they are making these funds available on two different tracks. One is to develop an action plan that sort of studies what problems we might have here in the city, and lay out a strategy for addressing them. Or the second track's an implementation track, that if you already have an action plan, you have projects identified, then you can apply for funding to go ahead and implement those projects. We don't really have a true action plan that meets their criteria in place right now. So our thinking is we would go ahead and apply for the first track, which is the develop an action plan, try to come up with a list of projects, some specific things we'd like to do, and that would set us up in future years to apply for implementation funding, which, given the amount of money that is available in this program, I think we could do a lot of good things here in the city, address some of our, not only the safety problems that we're aware of, but also address some of our aging infrastructure problems with some of our old traffic signals, which are, a lot of them are getting to be 50 years old, and they're, approaching the end of their service life, and they're gonna be needing to be replaced or tended to soon. So that really is the purpose of this memo, that what we are proposing to do is ask for $160,000 in funding from the federal government, and there is a 20% match requirement with that. So we are proposing $40,000 in local funds to match that. Honestly, we don't think that an action plan is gonna take that much money to complete, so what we're proposing is, in the grant application, we'd like to use maybe $80,000 of that funding to develop and complete the action plan, and then go ahead and use the rest of the funding to design some of these projects that we know we would like to implement in the future. At least get us to the point where when we apply for implementation funding, we have shovel-ready projects and we can go right into them. So it's a lot of money to ask. The guidance for this grant said that they expected the minimum request for these things to be $200,000. So that's kind of what we shot for, even though we think that's probably overkill for what we need to do. So, through the city's purchasing policy, applying for a grant that large just needs the concurrence of the council before we move forward, and that's what we're presenting here. See if we have a nod of the head to go ahead and submit this application. It's due on Thursday, so.
You better get, yeah.
So,
Get out
Get
there
out
and
there.
get it done.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
I'm fine.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
okay,
thank you.
great, thank you.
All right, up next we have the CDBG Home Ownership Program for 261, 263 South Prospect. Margie and Sue. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
So, we're here to request a funding increase to accommodate a change order number 9, for work to be completed at 261, 263 South Prospect Street. This project is nearing the end of the renovation. We do expect that this will be the last change order.
Well, it's only been 8 hours.
The contractor has already signed and committed to a November 15 deadline, and there is a financial penalty to the contractor of $200 for each calendar day past the deadline that the work is not completed. So we are requesting a budget increase of just under $37,000. This will accommodate the change order and also allows for contingencies up to $5,000. So we're really excited to get this project across the finish line, and we're very eager to get some new homeowners into the property. And this will be presented for approval in a special session next Tuesday, the 20th. But in the meantime, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
So many change
Are you
orders.
guys good?
Yeah.
Gotta love those rising construction costs.
Yeah, they can't help it.
You good?
Yes.
Yep. Well, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, request to purchase competitive negotiated sale property for 11850 Indian Lane. Chris and Doug?
Yes.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So we're here with a proposal to, under the competitive negotiated sale process, to review a purchase offer by 17 Mile Real Estate for the property at 11850 Indian Lane. It is a 11.93 acre farmland property with a 2,600 square foot residential structure. They are offering the city $575,000 to purchase it. The property is currently managed and maintained by the city's Economic Redevelopment Fund, and there have been no active residential tenants since October 2021. Would like to go ahead and have any kind of questions or comments from mayor and council, if they're okay with that.
Great.
Any questions?
Kristen said I'm gonna say
You good?
All right, well, thank you so much.
Good. Thanks. City administrator.
Already? All right, so there is a celebration of the fusion of arts, entertainment, history, music on Saturday, September 17th at City Park. The several programs are going to come together. It starts at 11 o'clock from 11 to 4 with the City Park Fall Fest, the Museum of Fine Arts, the Washington County Mansion House, the City Mansion House, the City Park Train Hub, and the Jonathan Hager House will all have offerings with free activities for the family. Sounds like a great family event. It kicks off with a free Monarch Butterfly Parade that goes from the walking trail to the park. And then it's capped off at the end with 7:30 fireworks display over the lake.
Nice.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Martinez?
So the skate park grand opening was amazing, and I'm totally obsessed with watching the cameras. I was watching one last night, and it was a young man just sitting on the kind of like the grass part by himself, and I almost wanted to go down there and pull up and say, hey, everything okay? Do you need anything? Like, just so obsessed with it. So great job, everybody. The collaboration was awesome. I started back teaching at the Museum of Fine Arts again on Saturday, and on my way in, there was a couple, and they were taking a selfie, and so I said, let me help you with that. Took a picture, and they said it was their 39th wedding anniversary, and that they Googled things to do in Hagerstown. And they had already walked the cultural trail, and they were in the museum, and they were headed downtown to try some different restaurants. I thought that was really cool, the 39th anniversary. And they were from West Virginia, I think Bunker Hill. Is there like a Bunker Hill? Well, Bob said, yeah. So I think like Bunker Hill, but they came over and celebrated in Hagerstown. I thought that was amazing.
That's nice.
And traffic, back to school, just be kind. Like, I gotta sit in the lines too, the parent line and stuff, and pick up and drop off. Just be kind. And our kids are a priority, and it's all about them during those morning and afternoon hours. Just calm down, take a little more time, and leave the house and be kind. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilmember O'Shea? Councilmember Burnett?
One thing. So this past Sunday concluded the Ruth Ann Monroe Summer Basketball League. And there was some bumps and some challenges, but I think that it was a successful event. We had a rainy season, So, in no particular order, I just want to thank YMCA for allowing us to use their gym, probably like four times. The Boys and Girls Club for allowing us to use the gym. And also the city. In the beginning of the season, I did sit down with our city administrator, HPD, and Eric Dyke to go over the plans. And it has been great, the collaboration we had with the city. Our volunteers, 12 Black women behind the scenes, puts this together with 240 kids, 24 teams. Also, those 240 kids come with parents, so we thank the parents for their participation and cooperation when we have to move from the park to the gym and all the back and forth. Our coaches, it's free. It's a free league. We don't get paid. The coaches don't get paid. So we thank them for their support. Our officials from all over Maryland come to help us out. Our DJs, we have local food vendors that showed up. Meredith had to go for bowl program, so they was giving out free blood screenings, blood pressure, stuff like that. And our sponsors, a lot of help from our sponsors to make sure that we had full uniforms this year for the first time ever, top and bottom, for 240 kids. And everyone who donated ice and water for those really hot Sundays, we appreciate that. And the mayor for helping us move tents around and, and getting other players to pitch in and help us clean up the park. So I just want to thank everyone for their help this year.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Bridget, no?
Well, I have to say, giant thank you about the skate park. It was just like Takesha said, you know, everywhere you turn, it was like people were saying like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how great this is, and this giant turnout. And not only was it a success that day, but then to watch afterward, to watch all of the social media positivity was just like, oh my goodness, this is tremendous, like this support. And I know that there was a post this morning or yesterday morning about the extra trash, and kudos to the Parks Department, wherever you are, Eric, for cleaning up a little bit. But I know that the skate park community will also clean up after themselves.
They
That
were
was a
there at
little bit-
6 a.m.
Yeah,
They were
they're
there at
just
6 a.m. cleaning up.
yeah, it's tremendous. And Rodney, can't thank you enough. It was to be able to build a skate park through COVID,
Wow.
because we did. I mean, we started this, we talked about it before COVID was a thing, and we built a skate park through COVID. So it's a huge success, and the community has been incredibly supportive, and as have all of you. So I am excited every time I look at those cameras, and now that I have all 6 angles, I'm gonna be up for hours, just hours. You can text me late now. Because I'm gonna be like, wait a second, hold on. That's it.
I mean, I have to agree about the skate park. I don't think we've had a day like that in Hagerstown in a very long time. It was, after all of the chaos of what I feel like feels like chaos of the last several weeks, several months of just negativity and frustration and everything else, it was just a much needed, like, we're gonna be all right, we're all right, we're all right, we're doing all right here. It was incredible. There were just people happy everywhere, probably 1,000 people there at one point. Just the positive energy and the smiles, and I too can't stop watching the live videos. And I turned it on earlier today, and I swear there were 30 people there, and I was like, Washington County Public Schools is probably gonna be like, dear
Send a truant
these
officer.
kids need to be at school, because they were certainly in there skating today. Maybe they were above 18, who knows, but there was a lot of people there today. But it's been pretty awesome to watch. So thank you everyone that was involved, and to the skateboard task force that had a really great day of skating. And to the people who were giving out skateboards, they gave out 8 skateboards, and I saw one kid, he was maybe 10, he was on a bicycle, and he was almost in tears. He was so excited he got a free skateboard, and it was pretty incredible to watch. Also want to,
Yes.
oh yes, by Dem 360, right? And
Yeah.
yes, thank them. And they sponsored the sound of the event that day, so we
Very
owe them
last
a
minute
huge thank you.
sponsored,
Very
yeah.
last minute,
Very
yes.
last minute.
4 days ahead of time, so we
Yes.
appreciate all of their investment
Yes.
into the skate park. I also want to thank Congressman Trone and Congressman Anthony Brown for coming here today. We had a roundtable of opioid discussion. First, we toured Awakenings Recovery Center from 10 to 11 this morning. It was really incredible to get to see up front and center what they do every day, and we got to talk to several of their residents and hear what barriers they faced before they got into treatment. And it's pretty eye-opening, I think, to Congressman Anthony Brown, who likely will be our next Attorney General, to get to see a difference and hopefully be able to help us with those gaps and issues with laws that we have in the state of Maryland. And then afterwards, we had about 50 people came to the ballroom at Schindler Roar above 28 South to hear Vicki Sterling from the Health Department, David Washington from the Health Department, and Lieutenant Josh McCulley from the Sheriff's Department also participated. And I just want to give a shout out to our business community. I personally invited a lot of members of our business community who have shared frustrations with the drug epidemic and have also offered to be a part of the solution, and a lot of them showed up today. I mean, there were 50 people, and a lot of them were downtown business community owners, and I think that speaks volumes to people who want to be part of the solution, so I appreciate them attending. And this Saturday, Dawn mentioned we have a lot of things going on at City Park and the Besser Community of Hope, Hagerstown Fall Fest, and then at 3 o'clock, if you guys make your way from City Park over to University Plaza, Washington Goes Purple has their 5th annual recovery walk. It's not just for people in recovery. Come, see, hear stories of people who are in recovery. We have local speakers talking. We have a motivational speaker coming named Wesley Morris, and then we're going to walk around Hagerstown with sounds and spread messages of positivity and hope. And then we're going to direct everyone back to City Park so we can watch the fireworks at night. So I hope you guys will join us 3 o'clock at University Plaza Saturday. And with that, I will see you guys at 6 o'clock at City Park for the 9/11 Memorial. We're adjourned.